I would be shedding some light on the power of recurring payment. So myself, Justin, and I am Assistant Vice President for Creative Labs, which is a full-service digital commerce agency. So as we talking about the subscription commerce, the very first thing I would like to know, like the kind of audience that I'm addressing. So how many of us are merchants? Okay, there's one merchant, and the rest of them are e-commerce evangelists, I think so. Sorry?
She was a merchant. She was a merchant.
She was a merchant. Okay, so all right. So the statement stands across what is subscription commerce. So in this today's digital commerce era, what we believe is we trade products as a commodity or services. So I would like to say how many of us believe in this? Like we are trading in products and services. Good. So here is the twist in there. Like in today's generation, what we are doing is we are selling convenience. Products and services is just a cost for making this cost happen. But digital commerce happens just because we are providing convenience to the customers. So that's how the subscription commerce comes into place, wherein you can offer up a personalization to the customers with the subscription offerings, and also with the recurring payment that keeps you into the complete control. So this is what I would like to just draw in your attention. So the very first thing is for the merchants. This is a repeat buying behavior of the particular customer. So a recurring revenue, a fixed monthly recurring revenue with the subscription model. It gives the revenue and the inflow stability. That's how the things are. And in this also you can see you are rolling out convenience out there. As a buyer, if I have to go ahead each and every time to add the product to the cart, and the same product I'm purchasing at the regular interval, maybe on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, or a quarterly basis, whatever the cycle I would require the product. So it will be solving my shopping hassle, it will be saving my time. So this is where, as a merchant, you will be rolling out the convenience. The second thing, as I mentioned, the shopping hassle. Everyone's time is very important, and doing up the same product, adding up to the cart, it's kind of a waste of time. So the shopping hassle itself is like, and more importantly, I think so the men's, they are mainly looking forward to the consciousness about not being a shopaholic. Right. So the third one is the more powerful thing out there for the merchants. So when you get a customer out there, you can definitely look into is wherein you're minimizing your efforts into marketing or engaging the customer. The first time customer, you invest in your marketing. Once that customer, that user becomes your customer, then it is like you're just pushing across the new products out there. You don't have to push it across that much effort in the initial basis to bring that as a new user out there. So that is giving you space to think across on your marketing strategies as well as on the investment aspect. So here are a few examples of subscription commerce, which in a day-to-day basis we feel, we do, and we encounter them on a day-to-day basis. The very first thing we could start with is service plan. So when we talk about service plan, so I think we purchase any product or maybe a big instrument out there, and there is an annual maintenance that we subscribe with. So that's how the subscription model works in the service industry as well, with the service plan. Second one you can see as a media. So I think most of us here using Netflix, Amazon Prime to view the movies, videos. So that is one of the best example of media that we subscribe with. Third one is the information access. So right now, our today's generation is on the move. So definitely the physical newspapers, that is also one of the subscription example out there. So today's generation, we move it towards to the digital sphere where we subscribe to the newspaper or maybe newsletters, magazine. So that is the information access we do on a day-to-day basis. Third one is the telecom. Obviously, we all use mobile. We are maybe a postpaid or prepaid subscriber of the telecom provider. So that is one of the other best examples. The software industry, today's date we are looking forward to the cloud storage or hosting providers. So all those softwares work on a subscription basis. They charge you on a month-to-month basis, and it goes on. So here I would like to shed some light on the power of the subscription commerce. So the very first thing is the steady and regular flowing revenue out here, and what it brings is the power on the customer retention. Now if you look into, it's like as a merchant, you're getting a revenue on an income that is fixed. You know that on a month-to-month basis, this is the fixed revenue that is coming up. So what your focus would be to how to elevate those numbers on the coming days or coming years. So that give you space to think across or think one step ahead compared to the day-to-day hassles that you might be looking forward to bring across an average order per day. So that brings across to a predictable revenue, and then it's like you are planning across your marketing spend also. So once a user who becomes a customer subscribing your products out there, you don't have to remarket him for the new approaches. Yes, new products definitely you can upsell to them, but the customer acquisition cost, you can save a lot on that. And the fourth point that is very important out there is knowing your customers. So you need to know, like, okay, you've got a customer who is your regular subscriber. What he is subscribing, or what products he is interested in. So you could put across maybe a private marketing strategy out there for those kind of customers out there. So it's very important on those aspects as well. So here is a simple model wherein you can see, like, for a merchant, what kind of model that fits into the subscription commerce in a perfect way. So you can see that it's like initiating the kind of an acquisition. That's the first the thumb rule that the merchant would be doing. And the second thing is engaging, because once a subscriber is done, or he is a customer and he is a regular subscriber, then you have, as a merchant, it's a challenge to keep them engaging. Otherwise, it would be like the same thing, and we are human. We get bored with the usual things or the same thing and hitting at the same time or the same thing. So that's how the things are where we have to look into engaging the stuff and also expanding. So once we have certain set of number of subscribers, then as a merchant, the next step is like how to get into the next milestone that you might have created. So that's how this space comes in. So the business model that ensures the clients can be reached out and engaged on the regular basis, it's very important. You have to be innovative with your approaches. There has to be certain creative ideas out there to make them engaging each and every time. And also, it's very important, you track the users' behavior. You're connected them with your customers on the social media platforms, because the more major market you can see is like onto the social media, and the Facebook is the most prominent platform used by most of the users. So you can see a very known personality out here. So there are a few people like him. So this is something like on a customer side. If I have to shed some light on what the advantage for the customer. So the customers who have this kind of mindset, like they have many decisions to be made in a day, and they don't want to waste their time by making a decision what to wear. So that is the way that they started. They have fixed color format of dressing. So that's how they save their time and they get into the actual field of to the work. So this is where that comes in the convenience. He is pretty much sure what he wants, and he wants to stick to that. There is no kind of a diversion out there. So one of the best example that I could share on this is the Dollar Shave Club. So I hope the men's might have heard about them. They are into men grooming products. So consumer one is a specific needs that need to be solved, and when it comes to recurring or regular basis, the Dollar Shave this team, they set across the shaving blades to the customer based on the subscription cycle that would be. So this is something which has been more appreciated by the customers as well, because customers need convenience, and if the merchants are providing it, they are accepting it with both hands. So this is a kind of a little statistics that you can see in basically McKinsey run across this kind of analysis with gender-specific usage of the subscription-based sites. So you can see here the women, men, and the overall. So these are the few of the players out there who are into the subscription or they are offering subscription services out there. So this is a few, I could say like a number, which is something that we need to keep an eye on. The reason being, there is a 100% growth that has been seen across, according to the sources, and it's more than 2.6 billion in 2016, and where it was 57 billion in 2011. So it's kind of a completely 100% of growth that comes in with the subscription commerce. So here are a few brands, like the same brands I could say, like, or maybe a few must have been added up over here. So these are the vertical industry. You can see into beauty and personal care, women apparel, men's apparel, children and baby. So there are different categories or different industries that they are dealing, or they have enabled the subscription commerce in their traditional commerce trade out there. If I'm missing any of the name that you might be familiar with, feel free to share. So when we typically look into the types of subscription, so the very first one is replenishment. So what that means, so that is something, as I mentioned, about the shaving blade out there or the razor. So it has a fixed time that it has to be replaced, or a new product has to be ordered by the X number of days or X number of time. So that is a kind of a fixed commodity that it comes on. So that's a kind of one of the type of the subscription out there. Third one is the curation. So it mainly applies to the beauty segment or the beauty and the healthcare industry out there. We all love surprises, and the surprises brings a curiosity. So that's how the statement goes with the curation out there. And access is something like it's kind of a monthly fee that we are paying across for the additional advantage for the discount that we pay. So that's another model of as an access. So this was a survey carried out on the question, like it was been asked to the users or the customers of this subscription base, or they have been already subscribed to this web presence. So the question was, what is the important reason why they continue to subscribe to this brand? So there was a survey conducted out, and you can see that we have categorized over here is convenience, experience, personalized experience, surprise and delight, value for the money, sense of community. So this, you can see the penetration out there. It was more towards on the personalized experience. That was one of the factor. Second was the convenience out there, and it brings across as a value for the money for the customer. And for the merchant, this is also one of the important feature when it comes to subscription, creating a subscription box. So, for example, I could have a certain set of features or certain set of products on my box, in my subscription box. And in that box, I could add, edit, and delete few of the products in my regular subscription that I have. So that's how the subscription box that can be created in. There are fixed products that comes into your subscription, but you also get the flexibility to remove few of the products which is not of use, or it has to be like replaced with the other product. So what value this value proposition this subscription model brings in? First one is the savings and convenience. Try and buy. So there are certain businesses who give out as in try it and then buy it. Personalization, definitely. Discovery. This is kind of the one that I talked about, the surprise. We all like about the surprises, so they can have the things to discover new products. So there are many brands coming across with the same products out there. So people are maybe like brand conscious, they would look forward to change the brand. So there are certain people who love to try out to the new things. So they could determine which product is good for them if they are into the confusion. So in that way, in that cases, they definitely, the subscription box definitely works in that way. And the subscription tenure. So as I mentioned here, like it can be weekly, it can be monthly, quarterly, yearly. So this kind of a tenure that can be set across based on the product line and the service line that you're dealing with. So So till now we were talking about the advantage or value proposition that subscription commerce brings across. Now we're looking into what kind of challenges are there involved. So this challenge is mainly towards on the merchant side. So the first thing is acquiring the subscribers. So acquiring subscribers is like you need a very strong strategy out there, staying near to them. So acquisition is a kind of a cost that each of the merchants who have been through this exercise, they know that. The second one is keeping them engaged. Having those subscribers and then after keeping them engaged is very important. Like they should be intact or in line to the brand. Whatever the new things coming up, they should be aware of. They would like to subscribe on the newsletters that would be coming in. So we need to keep on engaging them. Maybe surprising with keeping on surprising with the new innovative things that we could bring it across in our value proposition or in our offerings. Third one is preventing the unsubscribers. So that is also an important task out there, or a tedious task out there. So maintaining them is also very important. So how we could maintain them, that's also part of a strategy that has to be rolled out in a very effective manner. So when there is challenges, yeah, please. Avoid unsubscription. Yes. To avoid unsubscriptions is like, see, one is something that we have to come across with the out-of-the-box thinking, where we could engage them. So now say for example, I am a frequent subscriber of maybe books. I love books, so maybe on monthly basis I order, I just maybe I subscribe it for the magazine. So that magazine, I'm interested in that magazine, but in this, if I get a value addition, maybe certain, maybe any other product, considering my gender or my likings or disliking, so that could add value and make me engaging that, okay, this brand is considering me as a valuable customer, and they are bringing up me or giving me a value proposition or considering me to try it out with things. So maybe like free samples of kind of thing that we could send it across, and that way we could keep with them engaging. And that could also be an upselling opportunity for you. So that is also one of the chances that you can put in. I hope I answered your question. Okay. So now we were talking about challenges. So let's see into what the solution that we have. So when we talk about subscription commerce, it's not that each and every product or services can get into this subscription model. So we have to make sure that we avoid the odds out of it. So just focus on the niche and own the expand. So it's all about getting into a niche segment of the service offering and keeping on expanding the things. The second point is very important, building your brand and the packaging to your media and social to all the ways touch your customers. So staying near to your customers is very important, and the building of brand is also vital out there. So it has to be built across not just from the website or maybe on the physical store, but across all the channels of the commerce that you have enabled in. So the third one, as I was referring to the point that you had, so having a diversified plan to engage them. So the business beyond the monthly box, as it's hard to scale to the long term. So there is something that we have to make sure you have the plan to diversify your business beyond the monthly box out there. So maybe there would be new things, the products that you would be adding in, so that would also help them to engage in. Explore the exclusivity of the products with the products that perform really well. So exclusivity is something, as I mentioned to you, about creating up a membership kind of role, or like maybe a private sale kind of stuff. Like if you're a merchant and you wish to tie up with the brand, now say like if you're tying up with Etisalat, and there is some offerings out there for Etisalat employees out there. So there would be a private console or the private login that can be given across there, where they log into our web presence and they can access the exclusive offers that we have. So that's how we could create out the exclusivity. So that's one of the examples. So using the innovative ways to demonstrate the value of brands in terms of media and uplift the sales. So demonstrating, definitely, if we are not marketing it, we are not standing anywhere. If we are not reaching out to our customers, we are hitting the arrow in the dark. So now, as a part of solution, this is specifically for the Magento-based web store presence. So the merchants who are on Magento, so for them, this is one of the solution, apart from the one that I addressed earlier. So this is one of the premium extension that is subscribe now. So if you have an existing store with Magento, with 1x platform or 2x, whether it's community, open source, or the enterprise or the cloud version, we have this particular extension compatible to both. So we have been branding it and we've been selling it with our brand SKU, that is magedelight.com. So it's a simple thing wherein you can have it integrated with your Magento store, the existing store itself, and have this subscription model enabled. Okay, so that's it. This is just what I would like to give you an insight on what is Krish Technical Labs. So basically, that's what we look into. We are a 14-year-old digital commerce agency, so exclusively focused on e-commerce, and Magento is the only platform that we deliver good solutions. So that's the reason I could say, like, we have seen the future, and that's the subscription commerce that we will be dominating down the line. So these are the few numbers that you can see in the terms of subscription commerce, what kind of revenue that has been secured, or what kind of money it's attracting, and the users. So it's a number that would be tickling around the mind. So I'd just like to show one video with the subscribe now, so you will have an idea how exactly or what exactly it means. It would be just taking I think 50 seconds or so.